Hello guys. Excuse the shit gameplay in the background. I don't know why I played Zed or built the way I did. But yeah, we gonna have some League in the back. I've been playing League lately. But yeah, today I'm gonna be talking about how you should be the change you want to see. I feel like a lot of people, they want a lot of change. If you really think about it. When you like become conscious or like politically conscious in any capacity, you start caring about things. As I think if you were to click on this video, you would, then you probably want a lot of things to change in your life or in society. You know, I want this to change. I want this. I want this. Okay, I get it. You know, I wanted the same thing. But then I realized I was kind of just complaining with doing no action. And sure, a lot of things I cannot make changes. But there's some things I can be changed. I can make changes for. You know, let's say I want society to be more community centered. I want better community. I want more, you know, respect to people, to other people, treating people with kindness and all that. If I want that in my society, if I would like that, if I would like a society that's less online and less whatever that may be, I need to go out there and make that real change, because I'm just a hypocrite if I go and just pertain to society while still wanting to change. Everyone knows the change, everyone wants it, but then you conform to society instead of being that change, instead of being the one to say, hey, fuck all that. I'm gonna do what I think is right. I'm gonna do what I want to happen. Being that change, whatever that may be, you know, in any capacity. If you want a change, a positive change to come into the world, you gotta be the one to start it. You gotta be the one to take part in it. Because I bet you that there's other people trying to do the same thing. Maybe they'll see you making that change. They'll say, yeah, I'll do it too. You know, you make it's like a butterfly effect. Really, it really is. That's how all these movement and activist groups and, you know, change and protests that actually are successful. It's because of that. You see one person make a change and you prompts you to do. Why don't you become the person that prompts others? Be that change. Be that change in everyday life. Don't conform. Do not conform to what society wants to hold over you. If I were to say, I think if you look at anyone, like let's say the Black Panther Party, I'd say my favorite activist group, Black Panther Party, in its prime, they wanted a pure form of change, right? They wanted to actually go out and help their communities, their community and other impoverished communities as well. You know, expand it because they saw that change. They wanted to offer that, and they saw the need in other societies as well, in other communities, whether any poor, impoverished community had the same problems that they did, and they wanted to be that change. So they made the change in their own community, and it inspired others to mimic them, to follow in their footsteps, to be alike to them. You know, feeding their kids, having those breakfast programs, educating their kids, doing all that. You can do all that. You can go out and talk to your friends. You can go out and, hey, question them, question on them when you think they're doing bad. Hey, why do you do this? I do not care about this. You can even uncomment, like, oh, what do you care about in your life? What do you care about to make effort towards? Or you could use it as a self-reflection. Say that, you know, if you really want the most important thing in life is change, the most important thing, the most ideal thing would be some type of change. Why don't you go and chase that in any capacity that may be? At least you tried. Hey, let's say you failed. Hey, let's say nothing happens. Say you were the only one to make the change. At least you tried. At least you were not a part of that despair and lack that other people had. Do you see? That is what you need. That is what you need in your life. You need that. Be that positive change. Be the one enacting it, and it will inspire you to make more. It will inspire you to get better. It will inspire you to make change and inspire other people to do so as well. So that is why you, as a person, has so much power. You have so much influence over your life. Let's say, look at, for example, look at your parents. Think about how much your parents influenced you on your upbringing. It's immeasurable amount. They are the ones that brought you up. They're the ones that really brought you into this world, and they nurtured you, and they taught you. I mean, I was a kid. I would literally mimic exactly all my parents' movies. I would just mimic it. I would not question it. I would say, hey, they're right. My mom said so. Simple as that. That was all it is. My dad said so. That's what it is. You know, that authority, that type of level of power you have over a person. And then you can extend that. Think about how much your friends influence you. Think about the time you bought a shoe or a hoodie, or you made it acted a certain way, whether that be positive or negative, because of the people that surround you. You as a person is super impactful in society. Not only that, you should do it for yourself. Sure, you can also say, I'm not going to be able to change the world. I'm not influential. You can be influential. You can do all that. But let's say you were. Let's say you're not influential. At least you're not a part of the harm that you think, hey, this needs to change, but I'm not going to do anything about it. You got to really put it that simply. When you say that, you complain about this and that and that, think about those things you can't change that you still don't like. Let's say I don't like society. The kindness thing. I don't like people that are mean and rude. Be that person that's nice. Be that person who holds the door and says, thank you, have a good day, how was your day? That cashier, the person in your life, you check up on someone, they look down, you say, hey, I imagine there's a time when you were down, that you were probably feeling not the best, and you wished somebody would have helped you, somebody would have come into your life and say, hey, what's wrong? And not just like hey, how you doing? But like, hey, what's wrong? Like, I can see that you're upset. Whatever that may be. Be that person. Be that person you always wanted in your corner. Okay? Let's say whatever type of change you might want in your life, be that. I say, me personally, this is what made me really realize. Like, for example, in my first year of college, I was my first year of college, and I was like, hey, this campus sucks. There's no events going on. There's no people hanging around. There's no doing this, doing what I thought was the college experience, like the movie type college experience. They didn't have that, right? I'm like, you know what? I'll be that. I'll be the one to come in here and really push myself to do that. And guess what? I wasn't. And I sit there for almost for let's say, I would say probably a semester or so. I was just being friendly and stuff, but I wasn't really arbitrating that change. I just say, hey, this is the way it is. Now, at the end, the later half of my semester, my second semester, I was in a good friend group, and I said, hey, I could really make this. I could really make this work if we were to just collaborate collectively and make something happen. It's that change that I want to see so badly, how I wish society was, how I wish my campus was. I can make that change. I can help in an effort to make my campus more, community driven. This actually reminded me of a show. Y'all know about Community? Community is a great show, and it's low key. I'm putting together actually, but as I speak, this is very authentic. This realization. I want to like a campus like community, even though it's super unrealistic, but like more in like the, how they had like the Greendale, right? Greendale, the human beings, all that. It feels very welcoming. Like anyone can be there, anyone can go there, and they can all like be happy and nice, whatever. And they focus on that. And even in the show, they backfall. They do things that hurt their, fellow classmates, whatever, people that go to the school. But then they try to, help out and try to make repercussions or whatever. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna start a club. I'm gonna start a club based off conversations like this. I think deep conversations and really not being conscious during conversations is very important. Actually, that's what I'm gonna call it, the Conscious Club, because, like, I would say woke. I like the word woke, because you really think about the word woke, it's like woke. Woke was first used to like you're awoke, you're awoken to, race, the effects of race, I'm woke to that, right? But now you can say I'm conscious of that because the word woke has been dragged to the mud. Really, it's been disgraced, like how the word communist has been disgraced. All that, and yeah, people, it's really propagandized. It's a tool, so I'm gonna use a different word that means the same thing. Conscious, to be awake, to be conscious of something, to be aware of it, and I'm gonna use that as what I want that club to be, because I came to that conclusion of that club consciously as well. I was thinking about it. I was talking to my friend just like this, and I was talking about how there's a lack of third spaces. A lack of third spaces. I'm like, hey, I wish there was more third spaces. I wish there was a place that people could build community and, have a place to meet friends and, build relationships and all that in a more direct way without phones, without something in between them, interrupting them, intruding on the conversation, that they can be fully aware in the moment, fully conscious. And I was like, yeah, you know what? I don't have to make a third space. I have a third space right here. Well, not really, but that's like more of a first space school. But I can make that third space in a club. And yeah, that's when I came to the idea. And I think it's a great idea. Just any type of collection, any type of community and organization. You need to organize, right? Like even any socialist movement or any movement as well, anything that means anything. It's not just one guy saying, hey, this is a good idea. No, it's multiple people making an effort towards something. Make an effort to make some type of change. To boost some type of thing. And that is what I want. So I took that idea. I took the change that I want to see. And I'm going to be making it. I'm going to actively go into it. And that's why it really clicked for me. I'm like, you gotta be the change. If I had the capacity to, I would do it exactly what I could to make that change, right? You people always say that. I say that myself. I say, hey, if I had the capacity, I would make the change in society, in myself, that I would want, or at least make an effort towards it. Everybody backfalls. Everybody, does the opposite of what they want. But hey, I'll be that change. I'll be that one. And then from there, from that idea, I actively was the change I want to see. And I'm actively going to it. And I'm actively pursuing it. And I think it is a great revelation. Whatever that may be. Be the change you want to see. And for me, change and betterment of society is probably one of my main goals in life. Besides maybe having a wife and kids and being a good Christian, nothing really nothing comes to that. I'm not gonna lie. Nothing comes to that. Because as God said, love thy neighbor. Love thy neighbor. Right? Everybody's your neighbor. Love thy enemy. Even the people you don't like. Help the people you even don't like. Let's say people with very hateful mindsets, ask them why they think that way, why do this, and maybe they'll come to realization, maybe they'll change because of you. You're being the change you want to see in a person, in your life, in your family, any type of place. Be that change. Because ain't nobody gonna do it but you. And if someone else did it, it's not your credit. It's not an effort that you made. It's not something you really supported. So were you even for it? Were you even for that change? That's why I have a question for you. That's why I'm gonna end it off. Were you the change you want to see? Were you the one to actively go into the world and make that change? And this, to you personally, I did my own personal story. I bet you guys have a bunch of things and critiques because people love to critique, but people don't love to act. So be the action. Make that action. Be that change. And yeah, I'm headed out there. Like, comment, subscribe if you enjoyed the video. And make some suggestions in the comments. We'll try to talk about your thoughts in the video. I'll try to follow up. If I see it, I'll follow up for sure. 100%. So yeah, I'm headed there. Have a good night, y'all. Or a good rest of your day. And goodbye.